Welcome to the Hyper Fast Show, where we believe unlimited growth in business and life is created by surrounding yourself with people who have been where you are going. Learning from others allows you to compress time and grow hyper fast. And now, here are your hosts, Kerry Shull and Dan Lesniak. Kerry and Dan are real estate developers, best-selling authors, billion-dollar agents, and million-dollar agent makers. And now, get ready to grow hyper fast.
I'm here with Matt O'Neill, a good friend and an incredible agent and business leader. I'm so excited to talk to you today, Matt.
So happy to be here, Carrie. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So tell us just a little bit about your background and how you got into real estate.
Yeah, so I grew up in Michigan.
Okay.
And loved it growing up, but always wanted to live by the beach. So moved down to Charleston, South Carolina. And started hanging out at the beach. Loved that too. Probably a little bit more than Michigan. Met my wife and started a real estate company. So that's how I got where I am.
And what made you decide real estate was the path?
Yeah, it was like one of these.
A winding road?
Yeah, totally. I was, when I was in college, I was an engineering student. I was working at General Motors actually, and I hated engineering. And so I went into the marketing department. And this guy, Jim Eckert, was this professor in the marketing department that just like walked by and grabbed me and he said, if you're going to get into marketing, you have to take this sales course. And I said, no, I'm way too good to be in sales. Like you look down at salespeople, right?
Okay, I never did. I always loved sales. I did. Thought you were too smart to be a sales guy.
Absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
Totally. So, Jim's like, take my sales 101 course. You don't have to be a salesman, but you'll have to sell, something. You'll have to sell your great ideas to somebody. And I said, okay, I took his course, freaking loved it. And then decided, okay, I'm going to get into sales. This is so much fun. I love talking to people. And then I started selling copy machines when I got out of college.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Was Xerox? Like, what was the copy company? And Xerox has some of the best sales training in the country, right? It
was like getting a master's degree. It was actually Ricoh, but it's the same. Like, it was ridiculous, awesome training on how to be a great salesperson, but I hated copy machines too, just like engineering. So I said, what could I sell that would be fun, exciting? And I decided I could make a difference in people's lives with houses. So that's how I got here.
Okay, now that is a really cool story. I would imagine there's a lot of people out there that are in a sales job and whatever they're selling doesn't sit well with them.
Yeah, sure.
So what would you say for someone out there who is either in a corporate job, in a sales job, in some sort of job where they're not getting the fulfillment and they're considering real estate?
Yeah, go for it. Be your own boss. Make your own destiny. You can do it.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah, just bet on yourself, right? It's a bet. But Ricoh could have fired me. They could have downsized. I didn't have any control, even though I was doing well. I have full control over my own destiny as a real estate agent.
Awesome. You're right. You guys all know what I think, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah, I think real estate is the most fulfilling, emotional decision people make, and we get to be a part of that, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we really do make a difference in a lot of people's lives, like in a big way. Hugs and tears are shed, and a lot of gratitude and a lot of fulfillment, for sure.
And long-term friendships.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's cool. So today we're doing a little bit of a unique conversation because Matt and I have had the privilege of being surrounded by some of the top agents in the country. People who are advertising on television and radio through Rate's program.
Yes.
And we've been masterminding the last couple of days. And you had the privilege of going to an agent's office in this market. What was his name?
Rob Dekanski.
Rob Dekanski.
Out of New Jersey.
And how many transactions, to give you guys perspective, the average agent in our country today does under 6 transactions a year. How many did Rob do?
1,100.
1,100 transactions.
Yeah, 350 million.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's awesome. He'll be ranked in the top 15 agents in the country.
Fabulous. So having the privilege to go just mastermind with him and learn about his office is an exceptional experience. So yeah. I'd love to hear your takeaways between seeing Rob's office and talking to other agents here this week.
So Rob is very aggressive, and I love it, and it works like crazy. And I think with salespeople, we're like, we don't want to be pushy, we don't want to be perceived as pushy. So one of my biggest takeaway was be way more aggressive than you think needs to be. And when they get a lead, he's got a team of 9 inside sales agents.
Okay.
5 of them work at a time, but they work in shifts. So the lead comes in, and all 5 of them see it pop up, and immediately they get a text, and then a phone call, and then a text, and then a phone call. Text, phone call within 5 minutes.
What happens if they've already answered?
They don't. They
do it
stop.
no matter what?
No. If they answer the text, the phone call's not happening, right? They're communicating by text.
Okay, so once they engage in the conversation, it stops.
Yeah.
And he has inside sales agents. For anyone who doesn't know what an inside sales agent does, they're typically someone who's just focused on the phones, right? They're just hammering and calling and answering incoming leads.
Yeah, they don't actually meet the client. They just set the appointments. So his agents don't call leads.
Okay.
The team does, the ISA team, inside sales agents. And it was just like, I thought, man, I used to think we need to make a phone call within the first 5 minutes to win. And Rob said, no, we need to text immediately. And more people are responding to text than calls. This is his thought. I believe him. And then a phone call right after that, in case they will pick up. And then another text, and it's 4 different phone numbers too. So he's sending it 4 different messages, 4 different phone calls.
4 messages. I'm going to write that down because that's a huge pointer. 4 numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just wondering, like, what in the world's going on? Did I win the lottery?
Sure.
Because everyone's trying to reach them at once. So curiosity kicks in.
Yeah. Why is everybody calling? And eventually you might just pick up just to see, is something wrong?
What's going on?
Yeah. Right. Well, this is we used to do this thing called Bulldog. We get a lead, we'd call it, not leave a message, not text. Wait a minute, call it. Wait a minute, call it a 3rd time. And by the 3rd time, they would wonder what's happening. Why is this number calling me? Well, Rob's just doing it with text and calls, the same type of thing.
The good news about doing it that way is you don't get the anger, right? Because they're not going to be angry like, hey, 2 other people just called me.
Well, they don't know it's all Rob's office.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So but with the Bulldog method, which we've only done it twice, we haven't done it 3 times.
Yeah.
With the Bulldog method, though, by the time they answer, they're like, what are you doing? They're kind of angry.
You know who told me that? Howard Tagger.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I was having a beer with Howard Tagger when he owned Tiger Leads.
Yeah.
And he's the one who told me about Bulldog. And this was 7 years ago.
And was he finding that people were converting from that? Or just
Yeah. Well,
off?
he said people were answering the phone.
Well, yeah.
But our team would never stick with it because of pissing people off. Well,
I love the Rob method though, because it doesn't piss people off, but it invokes the curiosity.
So he'll actually, one of his agents might be on the phone, and then the other one doesn't know that it was picked up, and another one will call, and then they'll flip over and they'll say, oh no, I'm on the phone with another agency. I'm sorry, I'm already working with an agent. And it's really just Rob's agency. It's
so smart.
Oh, it's cool. Yeah, so that was my biggest takeaway.
That's amazing. 4 different numbers, 4 at a time. And what does the text message say?
Yeah, if it's a buyer lead, it says, what questions did you have about 123 Main Street, and when is a good time to preview?
Awesome. What questions did you have? And this would be good for anyone out there that's converting any online lead that has an address, right?
Yeah. When is a good time to see it? They just want the appointment. They want to meet face to face.
Now, I have a question for you on that note.
Yeah.
Have you studied the difference of your agent's conversion from a showing appointment and a sit-down buyer appointment?
We've always only gone for sit-down buyer appointments, and I'm changing. I just went to Real Estate B Schools conference, and somebody was up there getting a 9 times return on their Realtor.com leads, which I'm not getting. I'm like in the 2.5 times return on my Realtor.com leads, but he's at 9 times, and they always just go for let's meet at the house. And then they've got another question after the when can you see it, and they say, well, today at 5, and they say, great, we'll see you today at 5. Hey, if this isn't the house you're going to make an offer on, would you have time to see another home I think would be a good fit? And they'll say, yeah. And then they continue on with some more questions. Well, great, I'm going to text you all my information so that you have it. What's the best cell phone? I'll email you my contact. What's the best email? Is a spouse making this decision with you? And then they say, well, can I make a recommendation? Once we see this home, if it's not the perfect home that you want to buy, would you have a few minutes just to sit down with me and talk about what you are looking for so I could find it? They've already gotten a commitment earlier in the call that they did have time to see another home. So then the person is already committed that I have time to sit down with you after the preview, and they are they're setting more appointments because all the buyer wants to do is see the home.
Yep.
They don't want to come to your office and have a consultation. They want to see that house.
Yep.
But then they're taking that, setting the appointment, and then convincing them to have a consultation at the kitchen table, and they're getting the buyer agency signed at the preview.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like the verbiage you use. Can I make a recommendation?
Yeah.
That's gold.
It's not mine. I stole it from somebody in North Carolina.
That's what's beautiful about this business, because all the agents that grow the fastest listen to what each other are doing, and then they copy, right? So that's why you guys are so smart for being here today, because you're essentially hijacking an event that only the top agents in the country can be a part of, and you're learning from it, which is incredible. So what I found is that when I studied our conversion on the showing appointments versus the sit-down appointments, the showing appointments, we were really struggling with that conversion. So I actually have a training that I did with my team on exactly how to convert. And the top recommendation that came out of that was, do not unlock the door until you do a few qualifying questions.
Okay.
So keep them outside. So a lot of agents will go early, they'll turn on the lights, and then they become a door opener. So I said, if you're gonna go early and turn on the lights and walk the house so you're prepared, some of them like to feel that way, great, do that, and then go outside and lock the door. And they're like, well, why? And I said, because you have a few minutes to create value before you start showing them the house to get them convinced to actually give you feedback throughout the showing of the house. Otherwise, you're just like the Redfin agent or the discount agent that's opening the door.
Yeah.
So I have a pretty cool training video on that.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'll share it with you. Okay, so what's your next observation?
Yes, I said, this one, which you didn't love. We're setting 170 appointments a month right now. Our team is. And our conversion fluctuates between 40 and 50% to client sign. Every single appointment, no matter what, if the ISA said it or the agent said it, Rob has an ISA call right as soon as the appointment ends and asks the client, how did it go?
Okay.
And the client says, whatever they say, he's got 5 questions. How did it go? Was our agent knowledgeable? Did you like their price? Something else? And then what could our agent have done at today's appointment to have you sign up with us today?
Okay.
And he is finding out, his ISA is finding out from then, either how do I book the second appointment? Do I have to send a different agent out? Or can I build some rapport, put them in my pipeline, and continue to work this alongside of the agent to then reconvert it? And he doesn't charge the agent an ISA fee when the ISA works that back for the agent.
So we do that, but we don't do it on the appointments they book themselves. Only the ones that the ISA booked.
That's what I was saying to you. I tried to do this and say, hey, I know you booked the appointment yourself. If you didn't sign it, let my ISA call and try, and I'll charge you an ISA fee. Every one of my agents was like, they said yes to my face they would do it, and then they all were like, no, I think I've got this one. I don't want the ISA involved, because they didn't want to pay the ISA fee. Rob said, you were being so foolish with this. It's trying to collect a small ISA fee, you're going to collect 50% of the commission if you can actually
find out what the issue is and isolate
get it done.
And get it done.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand that's what you were saying. I thought you were going to hire ISAs and not have the agents pay for the ISA lead.
Nope, they're still paying on the ones the ISA generates, but this is agent-generated business
I
that
got
they
it.
didn't convert.
That makes totally different
And it was like I had to call my ISAs today. They are thrilled. They said this is 170. These are the hottest leads. These aren't things that we paid for. This is somebody that actually loved us enough to meet with us, and they are motivated enough to sign an agency agreement because they met with an agent.
Yep.
This is the hottest lead we have. My ISAs are like, yeah, please let me add them.
So you're gonna pay how much to the ISA?
$200 per client.
$200 per client, and does that include ones that they booked themselves, or only the new business that's not part of their normal comp plan?
Right. The ones they booked, the ones the ISA booked, they get paid when it signs.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just the agent booked ones. They get $200 a client.
Okay. I didn't understand that that's what you meant. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
I was pretty thrilled about it.
Yeah, that's smart.
And if you're a single agent, like maybe some of the people that are on this program, maybe you could do this with an admin if you had admin on the appointments that you went on. And what it is, the call is, hey, I'm the client experience manager here at Carrie's office. I just want to see how did things go today. What could Carrie have done different to earn your business today? And or if you're just an agent and you don't have an admin, have a buddy in your office make that exact same phone call.
Yeah, do it for each other, right?
Yeah.
If we were in the business and we were starting out, didn't have a team, I could do it for you, you could do it for me.
I would call behind your appointments for you if you were going to do the same thing for me.
We would learn that way what we're doing wrong so we could recalibrate on the front end and tweak our presentations to get commitment right away.
Yeah. And
we would close up deals that then we would know how to handle the issue. That's great. Okay, so the language is, what could Carrie have done differently to earn your business today, right?
That's it.
Okay, cool. All right, what was your next one?
There were only 4.
Okay.
I think we've hit on 2 or 3 of them. 2. I'm going to build some Infusionsoft immediate texts.
Immediate texts?
They go to the leads.
From right after the lead comes in? And how will you get the address into that? Is that just a field?
It is.
It is? So if it's a Zillow lead?
The address is being pulled into my database already. So the same text we were talking about, I'll have as soon as it's accepted an immediate text that will go out that says, saw you were interested in 123 Main Street. What questions do you have, and when can I set up a preview for this property for you?
Yep.
And so that text will go out immediately. I had to do some thinking with my database manager, Colin, today, so we could figure out how to separate the seller. He said it's easy. I just need to tag one as a seller, one as a buyer, and we can have a separate campaign go out.
And what does the text to the seller say?
I wrote it. If it's a home value, what did you think of the value? Too low or too high? And then if it's just a general, Carrie, you are up.
Okay, great.
You're gonna go see Barbara.
I'm going to see Barbara. Yes.
She's awesome.
Cool. Well, thank you. This is amazing. And I want to go over the rest of your list, but I got to go see Barbara Corcoran now.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Hyperfast Show. Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest Hyperfast shows. And remember, we love reviews. Reviews help us bring better and better guests and improve our shows. So give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.